This is the Bazooka Bazaar Show. You're tuning to the Bazooka Bazaar Show. Thank you so much for tuning in to this special episode. Special good morning to you. This is 21 of December 2021. And today we're going to be talking about Outback. As we promised, this one is about an animation, and it's quite really intriguing because it talks about creatures who are misunderstood. A snake and a scorpion and some creature I can't even name. This movie starts out as like in the circus. Actually, it was in Sydney, Australia. I used to be in Sydney, Australia myself, and it's one of the prettiest city in Australia, I guess, that I have been. I've traveled around Australia, but Sydney is the lively one. It's a hub for cultural, and there's so many people from all walks of life. Anyway, back to the story again. So this one talks about, like it's kind of a zoo out back, and it talks about creatures who were misunderstood, like a snake, with a venomous snake who would kill, like one drop of her venom would kill 100 people. And I love this because all of them were jealous of a koala. And this koala was taking this show, and everybody loved this koala. Everybody loved watching it 24/7 on CCTV cameras and stuff like it. It talks about a story of misunderstood creatures, and there was a Chaz Hunt, and this Chaz Hunt was telling his boy, like all parents do, that they were heroes and they used to rescue like lions and from danger. So it was the first show. It was the first show for these creatures, the scorpion and the snake, and everybody wanted. And there was a charming young alligator, and this alligator was like a female alligator, and she was like really caring to these misunderstood creatures. And it was the first day for this show for these deadly animals, and everybody was looking at this koala, and everybody loved the koala. Of course, koalas are really adorable. There was the first show, and Chaz Hunt was doing on a great performance and telling everybody that these creatures are deadly, So the scorpion went in, the other creature, I don't know what's the name of that creature, it was like snailing kind of thing. And then the snake came in, and they opened the box, and everybody was looking at the snake, and Chaz was annoying that snake so it can show its own teeth. And everybody was the kids were crying. Everybody thought she was a monster, and she was looking back to herself and saying, "Why doesn't everybody like me?" And all of that was on they came back, and it was the first show. And the mother alligator, was trying to comfort the snake, telling that it's okay, being misunderstood is okay, but that doesn't defy you. Of course, the snake wanted to get out, wanted to go to the outback, and each day, the mother alligator would give a story to these creatures, the scorpion and the snake, and the other creature. I don't know what's that creature, but it was cool. It talks in a pretty outrageous kind of way. So It was interesting. So the alligator was telling the story about there was a mountain out there, and there was that mountain was so in the wilderness, and it was great being there with all of your family members. And they would sleep, and the snake just remembers from being out in the wilderness a song from her mother, and the song goes like, "Don't worry, everything is going to be fine." And it was a lovely story, a lovely song, I must say. Next day, the alligator was in the pool, and there was the kid of Chaz Hunt went in that pool, and was really scared. Was really scared of this alligator, and the alligator was trying to help him. But of course, being the alligator that she was trying to help. So she smacked the kid, pull him off the water, and everybody thought that this alligator wanted to, eat the boy. So they sent this alligator away. Of course, the snake was going wild because, she was distraught because that's the only, kind of motherly, kind of caring creature that actually, was interested in comforting these creatures. So they sent this alligator away, and then the snake actually decided to break free from the cage and break her friends and go into the wilderness. The creature, I don't know what's the name of it. It was like a snaily kind of creature. It knew how to get out of the cage. So it went and it saw the alligator being taken, and Chaz Hunt was really angry looking at the alligator, and they were sending her away. So they came back, this creature came back to report to the snake and the scorpion, and they decided from that day they will get out. They will get out of their cages. Actually, they get out of the zoo and go into the wilderness. And they did. They were like all, James Bondy kind of thing. Like they're trying to escape. They were trying to escape the zoo and going from fences and going into walls and stuff like that. It was like the most beautiful thing when the snake was. I don't know if you know this game, a Nokia game of a snake. It was like going in the fences like that. It was beautiful. I love that thing. So anyway, they were faced with this koala. The koala was at the end of the zoo, and the koala was banging on some little drums of and they were trying to tell him, you need to stop because everybody's going to be hearing you. And there's a CCTV camera on that koala. So he was banging and he was like, I can't hear you, and he was being all mean. So yeah, he said snakes can't climb trees, and of course the snake went up the tree and smacked him, and there he goes down to the tree. And they took him with the scorpion. Actually, he was all going all wild on them. So the scorpion actually bit him a little bit. So he was some kind of drugged, or it just produced an effect of a little coma, and. They took this koala who was so full of himself, and they were going, and they made a little shack, and this shack is a little wooden shack, and they wanted to go to the sea. They thought the opera was actually the mountains, and then the fog went out, and they saw that it was the opera house. And they were like, okay, we need to get away from this sea. Of course, it wasn't a sea, it was a lake, but, they thought it was a sea. Anyway, but yeah, they made a little boat, like a boat from trees and the leftovers from trees and stuff like that. And they were pedaling along, and this koala was like, oh my God, I can't believe I'm in this situation with these hideous creatures. And they were pedaling along until they saw a shark. And this shark was, all smiley on them with those big teeth, and they were freaked out. Of course, he was like an insecure kind of shark, because he said, "Was it the teeth?" I get that effect. And he looked at the snake and said, "Oh, aren't you that snake that kills, one drop of your venom kills 100 people?" And the snake was like, not entirely, it's 95. But I bet you can, you kill more people than that, the snake was trying to take it back. And the shark actually admitted it. Said, "Yeah, that's about right." I thought that line was really funny. So there was a community of ugly people, and there was a password, and the password is really interesting. It was called "I'm ugly, you're ugly, we can all be this ugly. Ugly is the new beautiful." And then all the ugly all the ugly creatures will gather and save an ugly creature in distress. I thought that was really funny. So they eventually went to the Outback. They eventually went to these mountains, and they actually met their families, and they wanted Chaz Hunt was trying to tell his boy, like, we were just going to call pest control and we're going to find this. And with all the stories that Chaz Hunt told his son about, catching alligators and fist fighting a lion and stuff like that. I mean, the boy was full of his dad and saying, okay, my dad can do everything. You don't need to call pest control. You need to go after them. So after a lot of convincing, the dad actually said, yes, we're going to go after them. He was going to a hotel trying I'm Chaz Hunt and I want to find these creatures. Of course, it was a hotel. So they said, buzz off, go to the next neighbors, And they were a bike, there was a gang of bikers, and those bikers took the job on, and they went to find these creatures. They took the scorpion and all of them. They took all these snake and the scorpion and everything. They went back, but the kid had an encounter with the snake. The snake actually was trembling when it saw the kid. So the kid was like, I don't think you're that bad. And there was a standoff. I must say there was a standoff when by accident Chaz Hunt actually caught these creatures, and then he went up. There was a lot of creatures attacking him. He went up the mountain, and the boy was looking at his dad, telling him, okay, you are amazing. You captured the lion. He said, no, I didn't capture a lion. I didn't do anything. I've made all these stories up, And the kids were like, what? He said, I actually came from Tampa, Florida. And, all the kids were picking on me. All the kids were bullying me. And I saw this guy on TV. He was chasing alligators. He was the coolest guy, talks in a wonderful way. And, his real voice came along. It was like a girly voice. So the kid was like, what? Yeah, he said okay, but, I decided to move up here to Australia, make up this accent. And, now I'm becoming Chaz Hunt. I'm not the boring kid that I used to be. I thought that was really interesting because parents sometimes they do tell their kids that they are heroes. And I think that's really helpful. That is really great. That is really amazing. But, as soon as the kid understood that whatever he said, but he said, what about those creatures? You said they were deadly on the show and this and that. And he said, no, they are deadly. That's not, and I will make up for all those lies and I will actually catch those creatures. So back to when they actually caught him. The kid was having a second thought about the snake because it was trembling, and he let it go. He broke the glass and let it go, as if it was by accident. And the snake went back to the wilderness of these mountains and tried to tell these family members or creatures in the wilderness, we need to get back and save our friends. They were like, we never actually got away from this mountain, and we don't think it's a good idea. I mean, that seems like a bad idea. Of course, the koala went back. I have to say that the koala actually wanted to go with his friends, koala bears like him. And then he came back. It was shouting at these people, we're going to make shoes out of you, blah, blah, blah. I thought that was really funny. Then they left. And the snake was looking at the koala. Why did you leave, your family members up the tree? He said, it didn't go as planned. I mean, these people were talking about fur and, they were, do you think koalas are shallow? That was a really good line. The snake was trying to be friendly and saying no. And say, we got to rescue these folks. We got to rescue these people, Of course, the snake snuggled him and almost choked him. But, it was a friendly kind of, and then it hugged him. After that, they went back. And they rescued, they were going in the car, the Chaz Hunt, and with all the bikers and everybody. And they were this koala can drive an ambulance truck. And this koala can drive an ambulance truck. It went back. And Chaz Hunt was driving his pickup. And eventually they tried to rescue these scorpion and the other creature. I don't know what the name of that creature is, But yeah, they tried to rescue this creature. And they're all the wilderness kind of creatures from the mountains came along, and of course the koala chanted the secret code, I am ugly, you're ugly. Everybody should be this ugly. Ugly is a new normal. And all these hideous creatures came along to the rescue, and they grabbed their friends and everything. But there was a lot of sequel of events until Chaz Hunt was in the ambulance truck, and almost the ambulance truck was going off the cliff. So it stopped, and his boy was at the end of the ladder of that ambulance truck and almost falling off of the cliff. And Chaz Hunt was really distraught, and he couldn't do anything. He loved his boy, but he didn't want to die. And he was going all over the place. Mind is racing. How can I save the boy? And the snake wanted to help. So it actually grabbed Chaz Hunt by force and helped save his kid. So he was looking at the snake like, thank you for rescuing my kid. I think the premise of the story is sometimes misunderstood creatures or people, they're not as bad as they seem, I think that's the message of this brilliant, brilliant movie. I told you that I'm going to be doing an episode of Outback movie, and that's it. So thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one.